Hi guys, welcome back to the Mina Does Art Stuff YouTube channel. On this channel we do art stuff and my name is Mina. So there is a considerable pile of stuff in front of me here. This is going to be an art haul video and there will be a follow-up second video for the swatching of various art supplies. I won't necessarily be swatching everything that's here and I'll explain which ones I will and which ones I won't. But this has been accumulated over months at this point. We are now in February 2022 and I've probably been slowly accumulating stuff since like September of last year. So there's a few like presents in here as well, and we went on a trip to New York at just before Christmas, and so there's some art supplies I picked up while I was in the States. And lots of other little bits here and there. Oh, and also some birthday treats in here as well. My birthday was at the end of September, so I did a birthday haul I think at the end of September or around that sort of time, and a couple of the bits hadn't arrived yet, so it was kind of a bit of a leftover from that as well. Anyway, bit of a long story, bit of a long intro. Let's clear some space and we'll start going through all the bits we got. I will try wherever possible to have stuff linked below this video. There is a lot of stuff here and some of it I might not be able to find online anymore. So I will link what I can. And also a lot of these, there's a lot of stuff here that I picked up from TJ Maxx or TK Maxx. I can never remember which one it is in the UK compared to the US. So for those, I'll find alternative links for those items that I got from those shops, from that shop. So either from Amazon or Jackson's or somewhere else that I can find online, I will have alternative links as much as possible. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's jump into it. I can't actually move everything out of the way enough to have like a completely clear space in front of me, but this will work. So first things first, this one was a leftover birthday purchase, I guess, shall we say. I'm not actually sure if I showed this in the last haul or not. I can't remember if it arrived in time or not, so I thought I'd include it anyway. So if I've already shown this, I apologise. I have a few of the Sennelier Oil Pastels that I've picked up open stock. They're really creamy, they're lovely, they're really beautiful to work with. And I'm not like massively experienced with oil pastels, but I do love playing around with them. And this 30 set, like the general set, was on sale. It must have been like more than 20% off at the time when I got it. And I think I got it on Amazon. That we had like a really good deal on at the time. So I picked it up from there. This just comes with like a little pamphlet with some information. And this is like this colour chart of all the different colours they have. I've already gone through and I've circled all the colours that I have, so I know if I ever want to purchase something later that I won't end up getting duplicates. And then I can take the sponge layer off. All the pretty pastels inside. I haven't even had a chance to play around with these yet. So if you've watched some of my previous videos, you'll know that I'm currently pregnant. I'm actually almost 20 weeks pregnant now. But for the first 3 to 4 months of my pregnancy, well, basically almost up until a few weeks, like 2-3 weeks ago, I was so unwell that I was unable to do most of anything, to be honest. I did not touch a paintbrush, did not touch anything. I was mostly bedridden for my first trimester because I was so unwell. But so I haven't had a chance to play with these yet, and I'm really excited to have a go with these soon. I probably won't include these in the swatching video later. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I do have a lot of things that need swatching, so I might leave these for another video. And then I have some handmade watercolors here to share with you, and I will swatch these in the next video. So I was a patron for Dan Barrett. He also has a YouTube channel, so I'll link that below as well. And at one of his like patron levels, you get a stock card each month. And so I was his patron for a few months. I stopped because I've been trying to cut back on some expenditures this year for 2022. So I've got a few months. I've got I think like 2 or 3 months, and I haven't swatched them yet. So this one was from November. Get the tape off. So that's November's card. And usually with his dot cards, they're pretty generous sort of size, like amounts of paint on there. But they're usually like either experimental colours he's going to be coming out with soon, etc. He makes handmade watercolours, if that wasn't clear. Sorry, I may have not explained that very well. He is a handmade watercolour maker here in the UK, and he also has a YouTube channel. He does like reviews and other sorts of videos. So like I said, I'll have his channel linked below. This is another month. This is September, so I have October somewhere as well. I'm not sure where that one has disappeared off to. So this was the September dot card. And like I said, I will swatch these out in the next video. So in the middle here somewhere, just making sure I haven't. Okay, so October's dot card has gone walkies at some point. I'm sure I have it around somewhere in my office. I just haven't, I've misplaced it for right now. I also placed an order for some of his pans, like his actual like full-on watercolors that he's made. So I got Dan's Ultramarine Blue, or Blue Ultramarine, and that's the little swatch card he included to go with it, and it includes all the pigment information. There we go, includes all the pigment information and other properties for each one. And then I got Hokkaido Orange, swatch card for it with all of its information. Cyan Green, I think that's how you say that one. So that one's Cyan Green. And then finally I got Royal Scarlet as well, which is PR209. I mean, you've seen it, but this is like a quinacridone red sort of colour, and I do really like it. So I wanted to try that one out. So we'll have those to swatch as well. And if I can find the other dot card, we'll swatch that in the next, in the swatching video as well. Then next up we have set of coloured pencils. I've never really used coloured pencils other than like what you use as a child, I guess. So I bought these off the recommendation of Lindsay, Frugal Crafter, here on YouTube. She does tons of review videos and stuff, and I'll link her review of these pencils below. They're on sale for a really good price on Amazon usually, and they were on, I think they were on like a even more discounted for Black Friday, so that's when I picked these up. And I think I picked them up for like less than £20, and that's 120 coloured pencils. So it comes in this lovely metal tin. I've started swatching them out on the swatch card they come with, but I haven't finished it all. I think I just did the first row, first sheet, first tray of pencils. So this is the first tray. Then there's a second tray and a third tray of coloured pencils in here. So lots of coloured pencils. Like I said, I haven't really played around with these too much yet, but so far from what I have swatched with them, they've been really fun and really smooth and lovely to work with. Like I said, I'm not an experienced coloured pencil artist or anything, which is why when I wanted to get some, I wanted to get some that were affordable and not too expensive to just play around with at some point. And like I said, these were on for a really good price on Amazon, so I picked those up. I'm pretty sure it was during Black Friday. So that's the 120 Brut Finir square coloured pencils. I think Brut Finir have like a variety of different sets, but based on the reviews that Lindsay has done, she still rates these as being some of the best, if not the best, like budget pencil. Coloured pencils out there. So then I'll think they're not going to be like a Polychromos or a Faber-Castell or a Prismacolor. Sorry, Faber-Castell is Polychromos. Like I said, I don't know much about pencils, but I know that those two are considered like the top brands for coloured pencils, along with things like Caran and stuff like that. So it's not going to be the same as that, but in terms of budget coloured pencils, she rates these as being some of the best, and she's tried out so many. I trust her opinion on those things. So yeah, I've enjoyed playing around with these so far. I probably won't be swatching these in the swatching video just because there are so many of them. But if you're interested in hearing my opinion on these, then let me know in the comments below, and I can do a dedicated video about them if you'd like. Next up, we have some paper. This is a Hahnemule Toned Watercolour sketchbook. It's 200 GSM or £95 paper, 60 sheets, and it's the A5 landscape size. It's really nice, actually. I wanted to get a toned watercolour book, or a toned, yeah, watercolour sketchbook for use mainly with gouache, because I was hoping to get more practice with gouache and stuff like that. But again, after I think I set up a gouache palette, which I shared a video about last year, and after I did that, I got really ill and I never got around to playing around with my gouache too much. I do plan on doing an updated video about the palette, because obviously it's been several months since I set it up, and because I wasn't consistently using it, it will be interesting to see how the paints are now compared to back then, and seeing how well they reconstitute and things like that. But yeah, so this is the Toned Tan Watercolour sketchbook, which I thought would be really fun to use with gouache and practice my gouache paintings in here. So that's that one. It's got a nice tight elastic on it, and I like the fabric cover. I've tried their regular white watercolor sketchbook and it's okay. I don't love the paper massively for watercolor, but I think it will work really well for gouache, so that's exciting to try. I'll come back to these at the end. So next up I have this little palette from Jackson's. Now this is, in my opinion, a bit of like a hidden secret with Jackson's. It's not one it's not a palette I hear many people talking about. It's fairly inexpensive for a metal palette. It's actually the same as the one I used to set up my gouache palette. It's only £5, I think, or about that sort of price on Jackson's, but it usually comes with like this plastic insert for half pans, so that typically I think is what puts people off. But this comes right out and you have a fairly flat surface on the inside, which is great for like sticking pans in using magnets. And it has like a decent sized mixing area at the top, and you can fit a lot of pans in here in one of these tins. So it's really good for like if you want to customize, make your own set of watercolors and stuff. And it's very inexpensive for a metal tin. It's lightweight as well. It's not as heavy as other metal tins. It doesn't have the extra flap, but a lot of people don't use that extra flap, so I actually find this is usually plenty. And yeah, so I picked up one of these, I believe during when I placed an order with Jackson's a while ago, and it was on sale, so I added this to my order. So I wanted to share that. I also ordered some of these paint pucks from Amazon. These are great for cleaning your paintbrushes, you know, whilst you're actually working. So this sort of like suction cups to the bottom of your water jar, and you can just rub your brush over it to basically get all the pigment out when you're cleaning your brush. Now you might want to be a bit careful with like your super fancy watercolor brushes, because they can be quite delicate, but I got this mostly for like cleaning my brushes when I use gouache, because gouache can get really stuck into the bristles, but also for watercolor as well. Also if you're like an acrylic artist, you use acrylic paints, this would be good. This is great for all sorts of mediums when you want to clean off your brushes in the water. And it shows how, you know, you can literally put it in any kind of container that you might have your water in. There we go. So I got this 3-pack from Amazon. Haven't started using them yet because like I said, I've literally not been doing anything. So a lot of this stuff I've had for months and I just haven't got around to start using them yet. One, because I wanted to film this video, but two, because I was just so ill. This was a Christmas gift from my parents, some Canson Heritage Watercolour paper. This is a block, and there's 20 sheets in this block, so that's pretty awesome. 100% cotton, 300 GSM, 140 pounds. It's a roughly 9 by 12 inch block, and this is a really good size. I love this size of paper for painting on, and it's really good quality. It's on par with the brands like Arches and stuff like that. So I really like this paper, and I've used it before. I've used it in the pad form. I've not used the block, which is the same paper, it's just different presentation. So yeah, I'm really excited to use this one. Then I have these 3 sets of Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens. These are the brush pens. They're all, I think there's mostly brush pens. There's a couple of 0.3 like fine tip pens in there as well. But I will swatch these in the next video. So we've got the flowers set. Then we've got the manga set. And a, I guess it's kind of like a greens set. So it's just, brush pens are one of my weaknesses. I do love using brush pens in my planners or like for writing lists or all sorts. It's just, they're really fun to play with. So I will swatch those in the next video, pop those to the side. Again, in the same sort of Jackson's haul where the same Jackson's order where I got the palette that I showed earlier, I also got these 2 tubes of Holbein Acryla Gouache. Again, in the same vein as like wanting to practice more with gouache, I remember in like, I think one of the earlier videos I did when I was doing some practice paintings with gouache, there was one that I did where I painted a dark background and then wanted to paint over like flowers over the top of it. And I noticed really quickly that the gouache underneath was reactivating, because obviously the gouache I use is all water soluble, so it's all reactive, like it will all reactivate with enough water. So I thought I'd get a couple of dark colours that I would likely be using as like background colours for those types of paintings in the acrylic gouache, because the acrylic gouache is essentially a matte acrylic paint. It won't reactivate once dried, so I can use these for the backgrounds and then use my regular gouache for painting on top without worrying about the backgrounds reactivating. So I got the navy blue and the sap green to try that out with, and I will swatch those in the next video as well. Then there was another artist on YouTube who was selling off or destashing some of her art supplies, and one of the sets that she was selling was her graphitint paint pan set. Now I have the graphitint pencils and I really like them, and I've always wanted to try the pan set, so since she was selling them off significantly cheaper than I could buy them brand new, I thought, why not? I have nothing against buying secondhand art supplies and will gladly give them a new home. So they've barely been used, they look almost brand new, and yeah, so that's fun. I'm looking for, and I will swatch these out as well so we can take a look at what they look like. Again, going back to TK Maxx, I've got a few more things from there that I wanted to share. I picked up these 2 metallic watercolor sets. They were $2.99 each, so really inexpensive. This one is very similar to I think there's a Kuretake version and there's a Komorebi version, which is the version I have, which I got from Amazon a long time ago for about £10. And so the $2.99, I wanted to see how good these were compared to the ones I got from Amazon. And then I also got the shimmery coloured ones, and I bought this mostly for my daughter because she loves painting and she likes shiny sparkly things, and so I thought she might like these sparkly colours, and I'll probably give her these ones as well because I have the other set that I already am using. So these will probably go to her eventually once I've done the comparison video that I had in mind. I'm not sure if you can find these online elsewhere. I'm pretty sure King Art is a brand I've seen online as well, so I'm pretty sure you could probably find these somewhere else as well. They've got their own website, kingartco.com. So I'm not sure what they do with what the situation is with regards to shipping and stuff like that, but definitely you can check that out. Then I saw these in TK Maxx as well, and I thought that was really interesting. It's a set of pencils. They're the Color Tint pencils by Spectrum Noir. They're tinted graphite pencils, so it sounds a lot like, and I'm pretty sure it is, basically this like a Spectrum Noir version of the Derwent graphitint pencils. And so again, these were on sale. The original retail price is £17. They were on sale for £5. So I picked these up again to do a bit of a comparison with the graphitint pencils to see how they compare. I don't think these ones are meant to be water soluble, whereas the graphitint pencils are water soluble. Oh no, you can. They are water soluble. Okay, so yeah, Definitely basically meant to be the Spectrum Noir version of the graphitints, so it'd be interesting to try those out and compare them with the graphitint pencils as well. So I will swatch these out, and I'll grab my graphitints and we can swatch those with them and see what they look like. Then I have this 10 pack of Zebra Mildliner pens. I'm not entirely sure why I got these. They were on sale again at TK Maxx. I think I maybe got them thinking I would use them for bullet journaling, which I probably still will, or even like just general list making and things. But yeah, so that was those. Then next up, I have something that was a gift from my mum for my birthday. So my mum has started, over the last year, she started playing around with resin and making things out of resin. And she made me a palette. So it's just made out of resin, clear resin, and she's painted the back of it white, so it's got a white base, and she's popped in some dried flowers into the edges of the tray. So I basically asked her if she could make me a palette, and she asked what I wanted. I said just a simple tray type palette would be great, because you can put your paints along one side or around the edges and use the middle for mixing and stuff. So I thought this was really fun, and yeah, I haven't tried it out yet, but I'm excited to give it a go. Placed an order with Jackson's a week or two ago, so it's been a lot of self-restraint not to open it since it got here, but I knew I wanted to film this video, so yes, we will open it now. How does this open? There we go. There's the rip tab. Finally. It wasn't a massive order, it was just a few things. But Schmincke recently came out with a bunch more granulating, like super granulating watercolors. And I didn't want to buy like a whole ton of different paints, and I watched a video by Kimberly Crick about the new range of watercolors, and specifically she was talking about two of the paints that came out that were single pigments, and one was yellow and one was like red, and those are two colors that you don't often find in like granulating paints. Like you don't often find a yellow granulating watercolor or a red granulating watercolor. There's lots of like dark reds and like pinkish reds, so like things like Potter's Pink or Lunar Red Rock and like Caput Mortuum, like those are like dark reds that would granulate, but not like a bright proper red. So I was really intrigued by that. And then whilst I was placing the order, I got a couple of extra Caran Museum Aquarelle watercolor pencils. I have a selection here that I've accumulated over time, just every now and again adding a couple to a Jackson's order, and I was looking at the colors that I had and looking at what was available on Jackson's, and picked out a few extra just to round out what I currently have as well, to sort of have a more complete color range for the kind of colors that I like to use. So let's just take a look at the pencils quickly. So I picked up the Prussian Blue, which is number 159. All right, I'll get them all out and then I can show you them together. Then I got Beryl Green, Payne's Grey and Dark Olive. So very sort of blue-green in the colour scheme that I purchased this time. Considering how much I use like darker blues and greens in my work, I was surprised I didn't have that many of those colours in my collection already. So I added these and we'll swatch those out later as well. Now for the paints. Like I said, I only ordered 2 of the new granulating watercolours. All the others were mixes, and a lot of them had these 2 pigments in the mixes along with other colours that I already have. So I didn't see the need to add those to the to my collection, as it were. So these are the 2 that I picked up. I picked up Volcano Red and Volcano Yellow. So Volcano Yellow is pigment number 159, and the only other paint that I've seen with that pigment is by Winsor & Newton, and it's their Lemon Yellow Deep, but I'm not sure if it's actually as granulating as this one is supposed to be, so we will And I think I do have Lemon Yellow Deep by Winsor & Newton, so we can do a side-by-side comparison and see what that looks like. And then we got Volcano Red. And this one is pigment PR108, so that's actually a cadmium red. But again, a lot of cadmium reds, whilst it's technically a granulating paint, doesn't always necessarily show up as granulating, because a lot of brands will mill the pigment quite fine so it doesn't show up, the granulation doesn't show up as much. But this one is meant to be like an intentionally granulating version, much like the Volcano Yellow. So it'll be interesting. I'll grab my Winsor & Newton Lemon Yellow Deep, and I think I have another Schmincke, like there's Schmincke's general like normal cadmium red tube. I think I have. I'll have a look if I can find it. If I have a cadmium red tube, I will or paint, I will grab that as well, and we can do like a little comparison to see how they look together. So that's those ones. Then this was basically like a little early Christmas, or I say early, it was a Christmas present to myself. I found this set being sold on eBay. I've been keeping an eye out for this set because it's quite expensive, brand new. I think it's like £70 or maybe even more. It's usually for sale around £60–70 on Amazon. And I think I managed to get it for about 30 on eBay. Someone was selling their set. So I was like, that's a really good deal, and I couldn't pass it up. So this is the set. So it's the Billy Showel watercolor set by for Sennelier. So it's 12 tubes of Sennelier watercolors. I really do like Sennelier. There's some of the earlier brand of watercolors that I started working with. They're fairly affordable here in the UK compared to other artist grade watercolors, but they are they're really well known for being amazing for layering, and they're really renowned by and loved by botanical artists in particular because they work in lots of thin layers. But if you're the kind of person who likes to just get a lot of saturated color on the first go, these might not appear to be as bright and saturated as other colors, as other paints. So I'm planning on doing a separate review video for this set, so we can look at the colors. We're going to do some like layering experiments to see how the colors layer and how they mix with each other, etc. As you can see, there's like no greens in this set. It's all yellows, reds and pinks and blues, and there's a purple in there as well. So it's very much a mixing set, which I love about this. So I'm planning on doing like a mixing chart for these. I have a whole host of ideas of what I want to do with this set for the channel. So stay tuned for that coming soon. So all that to say, I'm not going to be using this. I'm not going to be swatching this in the next video. That will be a video of all of its own coming soon. Lastly, I mentioned we went to New York just before Christmas, and whilst we were there, I popped to Blick really quickly one day and grabbed a few things. So there was two things mainly I was looking for at Blick. One was Princeton Heritage Watercolour brushes, because those brushes are basically impossible to find in the UK, and Vinci watercolor paints, because again, impossible to find in the UK. Actually, I say that you can find Vinci watercolor paints in the UK. There is a website that sells them, very expensive compared to how much they cost if you purchase in the US. So that is really what I got. Like I said, I didn't buy a huge amount of stuff. I mean, having said that, it was still a sizable purchase, but everything was actually on sale as well, so it wasn't too bad. The brushes were on deal. I think it was like buy 5 for the price of 3 or something like that. I can't actually remember what the deal was at the time, but I picked up 5 Princeton brushes. I got 4 of them in the Princeton Heritage line and 1 in the Neptune. So I've got a size 10 in the Princeton Neptune round brush. I have the Princeton Neptune in a 12, a 4 and a 4. I think I might have a 6 as well, but I didn't have a 10, and it's a nice sort of mid-size. Then I got the other 4, like I said, in the Heritage series, the 40-50 Heritage series. So I got a size 2, a size 6, size 8 and a size 16. I actually have a size 4 in this range already, which I found on Amazon at some point. So I really wanted to try some more of these. And yeah, so those are the brushes that I picked up. And then the Vinci paints that I picked up 5 of those. Okay, here we go. So I got Da Vinci Yellow, which is PY 154, which I think is like a benzimidazoline yellow, which is a really nice mid yellow that I like. Cobalt Turquoise, which is a blue that I really like, PB 36. Then Sap Green, which is PG7 and PY 42. Alizarin Crimson, which is PV 19. And Quinacridone Gold, which is PY 150 and PR 206. So those I thought was actually a really nice set altogether as well. So we'll swatch these out in the next video as well. So I have a lot of swatching to do. As you can see, this little pile here is all the stuff that we're going to be swatching in the next video. And the other stuff I showed, like I said, I'll do separate videos for those. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, this is a collection of stuff that has been accumulated over months at this point. And I just haven't had time to do a haul video since the last one. So, and I was hoping to kind of like break this up and do it in like 2 smaller hauls or something, but you know what, I just want to start using these materials and these supplies, and so I thought, you know what, let's just sit down and do one big haul video to kick off the year. And having said that, I'm not actually planning on buying any art supplies this year. I have plenty of paper, plenty of paint, plenty of everything right now. So whilst I'm not doing a strict no buy for 2022, I'm not really planning on buying anything. And actually, other than these 2 Schmincke paints and these 4 Caran pencils, everything else was purchased last year anyway. Nothing else was purchased this year other than the package that you just saw me open from Jackson's. So kind of doing a no buy anyway. And so the only thing I'm really going to be allowing myself to spend money wise is I still have some gift vouchers from Jackson's that were given to me for my birthday last year that I still haven't spent. So if I do want to buy anything, I can use that money. Otherwise, I'm not planning on purchasing anything else this year with yeah, I'm not really planning on purchasing anything else this year unless I really need it for some specific purpose or whatever. But like I said, I have more than enough paper, I have more than enough paint, brushes, everything. Like I really don't need anything else. I'm very fortunate to be in a situation that I am, and yeah, so that's where I'm at right now, and that's my thinking behind this coming year and what I plan on doing. So hopefully you won't be seeing any more hauls from me this year. What I might end up doing is later in the year kind of doing a like a haul, but from my like stash of supplies already. So I might go through and show you all the different types of paper I have or whatever, or paints that I have or whatever. Maybe do like a watercolor collection tour or something. I don't know. If that's the sort of thing you might be interested in, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up this video and start recording the swatching, because that's always my favorite part, and I will see you guys in the next video. So I'm actually thinking that this video and the swatching video will probably come out in the same week. I know I said I was going to be doing 1 video a week going forward, but because these two kind of go together really well, I'm going to try and have them come out in the same week, just so that you guys aren't having to wait around for too long for the follow-up swatching. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.